What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's HBO original TV series review of It Welcome to Derry Season 1. This will follow Episode 3, which is called Now You See Me, and is directed by Andrew Bernstein. Okay, so last week, the second episode, clearly I didn't like. I gave it a 4 out of 10 for a reason. I thought it was pretty bad. This week's is not any better, to be fairly honest. It's a little bit better, but it's not really that much better. These characters are just not very likable. The fact that now Hanlon and Halloran have a rift between one another. The fact that General Shaw has a history with Derry, with the simple fact of, the beginning of this episode goes back to 1908, and he has a history where he was chased after by the entity known as Pennywise. The fact that he has a history of Rose, who is part of, the Indian group that wants their land safe, which is understandable, and I guess it's part of the story. And then you have the kids and like their story, and it's very predictable, and it's very cheesy and actually very campy when they go to the grave site and they are attacked by the entity, the Pennywise character, and like they look like characters straight out of the Frighteners, and it's very campy, and it doesn't fit this horror element of this series at all, and it's actually quite goofy. The CGI is pretty terrible. I just don't understand what they're going for. They're trying to make a series that tries to show Pennywise and what he's capable of. But now we're getting to a point where there's the horror element at the beginning that is scary, that is the action scene. And then there's the stuff at the end. And then there's the introduction because they learn how really quickly to do, photography and, do the blacklight stuff and stuff like that, in the photography room. And they see the picture of the clown in a very, out of focus picture. And it's supposed to give us, there's Pennywise, there's the clown we know from the series. And I don't know, I just don't think these kids are very interesting, to be fairly honest. I think what they're trying to do is set up to be similar to the kids from the original It series. But Lily and Ronnie and Richie and Will, they just don't have any well thought out development to their characters. They're just kind of stereotypes. They're kids that are like, ooh, I love, women with big boobs, and ooh, we're gonna be scared in a cemetery by the clearly entity, and like nothing about the episode just really clicks at all. And I don't feel Richie and Will have good chemistry together. I think Lily and Ronnie are fine, and it's not the kids themselves, like the actors, but it's just, I think the writing, I think the direction, I think the fact that the series is stretching at episode 3 is a problem. You go into the military stuff and it's just so gaudy and so weird, and like, why, how come I just don't understand why they needed to add the military aspect, because it doesn't make any sense. You never see the military in the original series. Hanlon's grandfather, Mike's grandfather, was in the military. Fine, that's fine. But the fact that they're looking for this entity, the fact they're using Halloran to find the entity, which had a cool scene because he like has the vision of the clown and the box car and stuff like that. He sees his like grandmother, and there's like some really cool horror elements there and stuff like that. The stuff at the beginning is fun, but it really doesn't add up to much. It really doesn't make any sense why the military would be involved with this type of stuff. Like it feels more like stuff what Adolf Hitler was involved with the occult. They do mention the men who stare at goats situation, which I thought was pretty funny. And once again, the entity almost kills Halloran by making him fall out of the airplane. I don't know. It's just a lot of weirdness. And on top of everything, you see, Ronnie's father being threatened to go to Shawshank. And I don't know why Shawshank even needs to be in the series. And there's just a lot of stuff. Why can't it just be focused on Derry? Why can't it just be focused on the kids? Why can't it? But then again, it would be like, we're just aping the original movies. We're just doing this. And like I said, there's just nothing there. Like, there's nothing really even to talk about with this episode outside of the stealing of land from the Indian culture and or Native American culture, and they have a meeting where they want to get back in the military, and then Ronnie and Shaw are now on different spectrums of the world, and because he's in the military and she's, a Native American. And like I said, the stuff at the beginning in 1908 is a lot of fun because it really harkens to what makes it good when it becomes very horrifying. They have the man who has the missing eye, who is basically turned into a creature during like when he's chased through the woods, when Charlotte's chased through the woods, and I like that stuff. I thought it was pretty fun and entertaining. But once again, it's like every episode so far where there's that really creepy opening and then they have the really creepy ending. But the ending of this episode is just like the pickle thing at the end of the last episode, where it's just like it's just the same thing over and over and over. Is this gonna be every episode where you have this creepy opening and creepy ending, and we have this boring middle? And I don't know. It's just I feel like that this series is just spinning its wheels, and I feel like it has a lot of money behind it, but it doesn't know what to do with that money. It doesn't know what to do with the effectiveness of the kids. It keeps going back to the same locations. I feel like by the time this series ends in episode 10, or at least the season, I feel like we're going to get nothing out of this whole entire series. We're going to get Pennywise, we're going to get Bill Skarsgård back, but it's really not going to add up to anything. And I feel like that's how you're going to opinionate for the 3 seasons, and how most people were like in the beginning of before this series even started. It's like, how do you make a series where you know how exactly pretty much it's going to end? The military is probably going to be gone, and then, all that kind of stuff. And like the kids are either going to leave or be killed, or, Mike Hanlon's character is going to show up, the son, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. It just, the kids are doing the best they can with what they're given, but I don't feel like this episode does anything. It really doesn't. I think it's pretty boring. I think it's pretty gaudy when it comes to its visual effects. I think the idea that they see the clown at the end is like, okay, the stuff in the graveyard is very spooky, very atypical of what you would see in a show like this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And maybe the Jesus thing, when he turns and smiles at the kids, I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's not much else to talk about when it comes to this episode. It's just full of bland, disinteresting archetypes, and it's a shame. I mean, I'll still continue to review this series because now I'm committed to it, but if this is what we're getting through the rest of the season, I don't know if I want to go any further than the first season. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it going the next 2 seasons, but we'll see. Maybe it'll get better as we go along, but I'm not having much hope in the first 3 episodes, so it is what it is. But I guess that's my take on episode 3 of the Welcome to Derry season 1, which is Now You See Me. Pretty disappointing. If I have to give it a review or score, 5 out of 10. It's mid, not very good. Hopefully episode 4 is better, but I fortunately doubt it, so we'll see. Anyways, with that said, that's my take on Welcome to Derry episode 3 season 1. Now You See Me. So thank you so much. In the comments below, what do you think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are you hoping to get out of the series? Are you hoping for anything at this point? Let me know why. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.